Hi there, this is Chris Callett with musegrid.com, and we're going to take a look at the Pride and Groom template from Musegrid and see how we can modify it. Now, the first thing that we want to do is we want to install the library pack that comes with it, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to my library panel in Muse. Bearing in mind I've already opened this up, you don't have to open the template up before you do this. And I'm going to click on my template here, Pride and Groom, and the Pride and Groom library. I'm going to open that up, and in here we have all the different parts of the pages that you might want to work with. So if you want to create your own pages, you have all these different elements ready to go, and you can just drag them and drop them onto the page. However, if we want to work with the pages that we have provided in there themselves, we can do so. So here's the desktop layout. We have Home, About Us, some other sub pages under About Us. We have the Services section with sub pages there, a Team page, Customers with sub pages, and then Contact page. And in our phone layout, we have some basic information: Home, About Us, Services, and Contact. Let's take a look at the master template. Now, the master template is where all of the basic navigation and elements are, and then for our additional pages where we have a side menu, we are using the master, the secondary master, the B master page here, and we've applied A to B. So all of the elements from this master page are also sitting in that page. So if you wanted to change the navigation, you'll want to be working in the A master. Let's open that up first. So you can see here that we have our logo, we have our navigation, and our navigation is made up quite simply, it's a normal navigation widget, but we're using a background image. And if we take a look at our spacing and our text, we can see that we have, text is pretty straightforward in here. We're just using a nice font with a grey colour, and then in our states it changes colour to this purple colour. In our spacing, we have set a top padding of 50, so that gives us this distance here between the text and the top of the navigation. And then we're using a background image, so we can see we've got the grey image there, and then we've got the purple image there, and those are located in the assets. So if you wanted to change the color of these, you would need to change those in the assets and then update the asset. So we have our navigation, we have our sub navigation here, and we're using the font, and we're using lots of nice spacing to make it nice and airy, and it adds a more fun feel to the page. Below the navigation, we have our quick links bar with an additional navigation widget here, and we've set our padding on the left to 10, and if we take a look at our text here, we can see that we've also set our margin at 10 to give us this space, and we've switched our show left icon on, and that left icon we've selected a background image with that paw, so that's how we've created that. We have our little social media icons, some more information here, and logo and address, and some nice little elements to break up the page. Now at the top you'll see this element here. This is a drop-down menu, and inside that drop-down menu panel we have this contact form with the telephone number, and this is just a accordion panel. And what we've done is we've deleted the text, we've set the background to transparent. We're using this button here as this is a background PNG, transparent PNG, that has two states. It has that when it's closed and that when it's open. And if you notice, it's sitting inside this grey rectangle here. That's full width, 100% width, and it's sitting inside it. It's the full width of our page, but not the full width of the site. And if we take a preview of this, let's preview this page in the browser. By doing that, we're then able to create this effect that you will have seen in the preview of this template, where we can create this sliding draw effect at the top of the page for our contact form, which works really nice and neatly. So as long as you have, let's have a look at that now. So as long as you have the accordion panel sitting inside that grey background, we can see that because the rectangle is 100% width of the page, and because the accordion panel is sitting inside it, the rectangle will actually scale with its content. So we get that really nice effect of that drawer opening. So that's the master page. Let's take a look at some of the other elements. So on the home page here, we have this composition widget, and it's where it's stacked. It's set to on click, so you can click through, but we also have it on autoplay. And each one of these images, if we scroll through them, they are just background images to the slide itself. So you can see in the fill panel there that they are background images. And the text here is just a text box with plenty of spacing set around it, with a radius, and then we have these little thought bubbles here, and then with this speech box here, we're just using a rectangle angled to create the part of the speech bubble pointing to where the voice is coming from. So that's really straightforward. And they're all, if you drag those elements out of the slider, you can see that we can drag that back in and see that red line. That's indicating to us that the content is now within that slide. So that's really easy to modify. Then we have these little panels here. These are just rectangles with a background image and a radius set on them. Again, here these panels are rectangles with background images. So that's really straightforward to update the home page. Let's take a look at some of the other items that we have where they're using different widgets. So taking a look at our offers page here, when it wants to open, we can see that this offer panel here, this is a composition widget. So it's all placed together, and we have an accordion panel sitting at the bottom here. When that opens up, it goes behind that unit. Let's bring it. Let's use the bottom widget. If we wanted to work on that, let's just take this back a minute. Right, so if we wanted to work on that, we could just bring it to the forefront. So let's take a look at this one. Now, when it opens up, it's not going to push any of the content down in the preview mode, but you'll see that it does do that when we're on the site. So we just have an accordion panel here, and that you can add your content to. And these items here are just normal background images. It's jumping all over the place for me now. And they're very straightforward to edit. We have a rectangle here with a background image. So it's not complicated stuff. It's just the way that we've layered it to make it work effectively. Now in our side panel here, we're using our Twitter widgets, which you can get from MuseGrid, but they're included in here, so you don't need to do anything else. So with this side panel Twitter widget here, if we click on the options, we can see that we could change this to a different account just by changing the Twitter username. I'm going to put that back to PetSmart. And we have the follow widget as well, which we can modify. So those are all the side panel items, and then we have this menu item, very similar to the footer menu. Let's jump over to, let's take a look at the gallery. So the gallery, we are using just the normal image gallery widget in the lightbox mode. And let's turn this off so that we can see the widgets, the thumbnails themselves. Let's switch that off. And we can see all of our thumbnails, and we're just using a rollover effect with a 2-pixel width on the thumbnail items, so that when you hover over them, they highlight, and when they're active, they're in yellow. And the lightbox, we can switch it off here with show lightbox parts when editing. And what we've done here is we've switched the close button on and the next and previous. We've just moved them into place, put a background image for the arrow, changed the color, put a radius on and dropped it into the corner so that all works together nicely, and changed our background color into that purple. So when it loads up, you have that really cool effect where the light box opens and you've got this nice color coordinated navigation that matches the home page as well. So that's some of the basic units within the page. Very easy to do. It's all built out of Muse parts and Muse widgets, so there's nothing complicated there, and any additional widgets we've provided built in. Don't forget that you have the Pride and Groom library that you can just drag new elements on. Don't forget as well to change the form. So the form, you need to change your email address here, but it's all very straightforward. And so we hope that you've enjoyed using this template. It's a fun template. We certainly enjoyed building it, and we look forward to seeing what you do with the template. Thanks for watching.